Welcome back to day 2 in the office of the Phoenix Coyotes GM. Just to catch you up if you missed the first episode or can't remember what we did, we basically traded away. Actually, I'll get it up on the transaction page, but we traded for, Gustav Nyquist and Anthony Mantha. We gave away Michael Stone, who is a pretty decent defensive prospect, but I have plans to replace Michael Stone. And then Brian Burke and Thomas Ryder, who were expendable prospects. And for Mantha and Nyquist, I am happy. Possibly giving up a bit too much, but wanted to make sure the trade went through. It's actually increased our GM rep, which is going to help. So I am fine with that. You just quickly saw our lines. I'm going to do a couple of trades in this video before we start simming, because I have a few plans. Obviously, you see Nyquist fits in quite nicely with Ribeiro and Vibada. Hopefully, on that line, he can get some good points and improve. But on defense, there are only 3 defenders that I really want to keep, and they are Ekman Larsson, Keith Yandel, and Brandon Gormley. Slemko can go, Michalek can go, Morris can go. In the order that I want to get rid of them, it is Morris, Slemko, then Michalek is just if we can get someone for him, because looking at Michalek, he's actually a pretty good defensive defenseman. So if we were making the playoffs this year, I'd probably keep him. But I'm looking at a bit of a long-term future, and if we make the playoffs, that's fantastic. But I'm not too worried, considering we do have Mike Smith, who is an 88 rated goalie. So he's probably an elite goalie and shouldn't regress for the next couple of years. If we can get a solid defensive core ahead of him this year, then we can work on the offense via the draft. Remember, we do have Max Domi and now Anthony Mantha coming up, as well as a few Nyquist. Hansel can get better, Bodko can get better, Erat and Vermette shouldn't get worse. Not sure about Ribeiro, probably looking to replace him. So there's a couple of defensemen in mind. They're both pretty young, both very European, and they would fit in quite nicely. Actually, they're free. So we're basically replacing half our defensive core in this video, and then we'll worry about the offense when we need to. But the first defender I'm going to go after was suggested by me, or to me, sorry, and it is going to be Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hedman is very much along the lines of Ekman Larsson. His discipline is, I would like it to be quite high, but the fact that his skating, physical, defensive, and indeed shooting are 4.5 stars, and in fact his senses is very, very nice. I mean, even his passing and puck control is 85. It's just his deking and hand eye that lets down his puck skills. So Victor Hedman and Oliver Ekman Larsson is gonna be one of the best duos in the NHL in the next couple of years, because they've both got 4.5 star ratings. So yes, I am very much wanting to get Victor Hedman onto this team. And because Hedman would become our best overall defenseman, we can probably get rid of Michalek to try and get him. We are going to have to get rid of Michalek and somebody else, however. So, and I've got a few other trades in mind. I have done some pre-scouting for this, so I know what type of player I need to get another type of player. So we're also going to offer up Derek Morris, because I know that he might not want him, but I can replace him in another trade quite easily. So we have Derek Morris, Michalek for Hedman. We'll just take someone who they want to give away. I don't really want to give away anyone. Is there anyone that's got a 1-year contract? I'll take a rookie as opposed to anything. Not in a stupendous position to take anyone decent, but we can help our AHL team out. We'll pick up the Smith guy in the hope that he turns into something. You never know, he could be a decent grinder for us. You never know. So I still don't think that is going to go through. So we'll see if there's anyone else that they want that we are willing to give away. What's this LaPlante guy? Yeah, he can go. He can go just to add a bit of value. I'm probably going to have to whack a pick in. I'll see if I can get it, if we can do it with just a 3rd round pick. Yeah, we have. We'll try next year's third round. Let's see what they say to this. Okay, so they don't like that trade. That's fine. Might have to offer them a roster player in that case. I don't really want to get rid of Samuelson, really. Nah, Samuelson's not going anywhere. Is there another defenseman I can get rid of? They want Slemko. Yeah, okay, so they can have Slemko. And Slemko, I will take Olin just because they want to give him more up. Why is not cap room? Okay, I will take Brian Lee then. Wonder if this will be any better. No. Okay, I'm gonna rebuild this trade up quickly. So we'll keep Morris and McCulloch then because they want him. They don't want this guy. So we won't bother trying to get them to have him. They do want Carl Kitchura, and that's fine because I don't want Kitchura. Oh, I'm on Toronto. Oh well, they can still have him. They can still have those players. Hedman. So now we are just going to have to add their worst players, unfortunately. So we'll just take JT Brown and Walker because Hedman is the crux of his trade. Why is that not going through? Salary cap, fantastic. Okay, new tactic. So we go for Hedman. And who is our best? Yeah, so we go Hedman, McCulloch, and there's someone that doesn't fit. Where's Ribeiro? Right, the Ribeiro does have a bit of trade value, but I'm not going to try and get anyone's fantastically better. We'll go for Tyler Johnson. No, we won't. Oh, this trade's going to be tricky to get to go through. Nate Thompson, will that make it go through? No, cap's still an issue. So we are giving up a lot of cap. Okay, so where was the player? We will take Matthias Olin. Why is that not going through? I don't understand this. Okay, so it'll work if we get Sammy Salo, and I think Salo's has the 1 year left. Oh, I don't want to trade his salary. Yeah, he has the 1 year left, so that's fine. No, okay, so I don't want this. This is really hurting my trade rep. Okay, so look at trade value. Ribeiro and McCulloch cover Hedman, and then Salo might be a bit too much, so we'll just add this guy. No, that's not going to be enough. As Ribeiro's contract is killing us. It's going to be so tricky to get rid of. I mean, we could get rid of Vistanen and then address the goalie issue. I mean, I'm pretty sure that trade would go through. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that trade would go through. Does however mean we are giving up a good goalie, so we'll try it and get a first in return and replace the goalie in this year's draft with that pick. So the first is covered by Vistanen and then Hedman. Okay, well let's just see what they say. Okay, no. If we get the first, we can give them a second. There we go. Okay, so it took a fair bit of negotiating. Our trade rep has probably gone down, but Victor Hedman is on our team. And we now have 2 first round picks instead of a second round pick, which I'm okay with. A future need, though, we don't have any goalies really in the future, but we can address that pretty easily. I'm not too concerned about that. We can trade for goalies, we can sign goalies. That's fine. Smith has still got a couple more years in him. We can go and try and get someone later if we get value, or even try and draft someone. That's probably the way we're going to go about it. But if we just go ahead and quickly check roster moves before we go after the second player. See, McCulloch is gone, which I am a little bit upset about, but we still haven't lost any roster players, so we still have Mike Ribeiro and Morris to try and trade. So, Victor Hedman, go join your fellow Super Swede up on that first line pairing. Oh, I am very much looking forward to that first line pairing. Which one's got the hardest slap shot? Ekman Larsson does, so you can be in a position to take your one-timers. That's looking nice. Get the fellow Swedes. Oof. I like that trade. Thank you. Whoever suggested that, you know who you are, and I am very much liking that suggestion. I imagine we just need to stick Hedman on there. Luckily, he's our best player, so he shouldn't be too hard to find. But I'll just do this quickly. Okay, so let's go after the second defenseman at AHL. Can just do best lines, that's fine. So we should be able to sign a goalie from free agency actually now, if I am correct. I just want to check that, because we got rid of a goalie for a pick, didn't we? So we should have, yes we do, okay. So quickly before we make a sign, I'm going to have a look at what goalies are in free agency, just to help the AHL team out. See if there's anyone with a bit of potential. Yeah, you've got a bit of potential. You might not be much, but you'll help out for now. 1 year, yep, okay, you can have the 1 year. That's fine, we can sort you out next year. Okay, so back to trade negotiations, and for this trade, we're going all the way from Arizona to Pittsburgh, and we are going to try and pick up Olli Määttä, the 19-year-old fantastic Finn. 19 years old, he's got 3 years left on his rookie contract, which is fantastic. He's already an 82 overall. 4 stars potential, so he will be a top 4 defender for us. He will perform the Hedman role to Yandel, if that makes no sense. If we think about these for top 2 pairings, we have Ekman Larsson and Yandel as the 2 offensive defensemen, and then we have 2 two-way defensemen to help out their defensemen. Määttä will be Yandel's Hedman, is what I'm hoping. Yeah, that did make sense. Yes, we are going after Olli Määttä. Now, I have done some pre-scouting, so I know who I want to get rid of in order to bring in Olli Määttä, and it is Martin Erat. Although, would I rather have Erat or Ribeiro? No, I think I would. If we assume we're not going to make any more trades after this trade, which is not going to happen, I would rather have Mike Ribeiro on the team. I know his contract is a lot worse, but he is a far better offensive player or a playmaker, sorry. And that's the type of player that we need at the moment. We have a lot of people like Shane Doan, Martin Hansel, Verbada. No, Verbada's actually quite a good two-way defender as well. I was thinking of Vermette, but Verbada's not terrible defensively. So Erat is one and the same, whereas we don't really have many playmakers. Even with the pickup of, Gustav Nyquist, I would still like to have Ribeiro on the team. So if we look at this, that might go through, but if it wasn't for the fact that they don't want to give up Määttä and they don't want Erat, but we will see what they say. So they want us to really make it worth their while. I think the easiest way of doing that would be to try and add a pick. We'll try a 3rd round in next year's draft. I doubt this will go through. Oh, that's fine. I will take that. So we've just traded Martin Erat for Olli Määttä, and our trade rep was poor, and that has freed up about 4 million in cap space as well, which is an outstanding move. We do have a space in the forwards, however, but we can address that pretty easily going forward. Just for now, Shane Doan will go on the second line. I think he's listed as second line forwards, so that's not the worst. It's quite a slow second line, but we can address that in future episodes. We've got one more trade that I would really like to make, so for now Morris can drop down because I need to visualize this better. Actually, we'll just scratch Morris, bring in Oli Mata, and then put Slemko back there. Probably going to ask me to put, yep. I'll do this quickly. I'll just stick Doan and then Hedman. I'll sort the lines out quickly, it's just so it doesn't shout at me more than anything. And screw it, I'll do best lines because I know the other player I'm going to go after. The other player I'm going to go after, maybe a little bit excessive in swapping. I don't really see, there's not really a massive need in getting this player, considering we still will have Slemko on our roster after this trade. But it is going to be Cody Ceci. As you see, the 4.5 red star, so if we progress him correctly, he should be a fantastic player for us. Much like Matt, who's still got 3 years left on his rookie contract as well. So if it looks like we're running out of space, we can trade Mata or CC. So long term future, it's very, very nicely done. Now, who are we going to try and trade for? I've not really thought this one through very much. I don't want to give up any of these players if I can help it. Don't think Slemko wouldn't cover it, and that would be spectacular. But if we go ahead and check, no, it's not going to cover it. So if we go ahead and look at rookie skaters, the top 4 are out. But this Lasso guy, what are you about? Okay, so it's 3.5 stars, 2-way forward. We have plenty of 2-way forwards, plenty of young 2-way forwards as well. Actually, he's 20 years old. He's got a decent contract to switch. We compare his trade value to, get rid of Slemko, to CC's. He's actually better, yeah, so I like that. They don't want to give out CC, so we just double that. That should cover it. We're going to try and be cheeky and see if there's anyone else we can get. So we could either go after Curtis Lazar, which would replace Lasso, or we could go ahead and draft our own player and nick a second round. Okay, so we can't get a second round. Can we get a third round? Can't get a third. Can we get a second in next year's draft? No, we can't. Okay, so I'm not going to bother with a pick. We're just going to see. I might try a fourth. Just pile up some picks. Yeah, that'll do. I'll take a fourth. We'll pile up picks. Yeah, that gives us a pick in each round now, which I'm quite happy about. 2/7 is a bit of a waste, but you never know. Might find a diamond in the rough. But the main factor for that trade was Lasso for CC, and we get our 6th defender that we wanted. So Derek Morris is no longer needed. So Slemko and Morris can be traded. I didn't want to highlight Slemko, so we now have Cody CC in our team to go alongside Brandon Gormley as our bottom 6 defenseman. And if we go ahead and check out, I'll do it in the contract screen actually, that might be a little bit easier. But we are going to go ahead and check out the defensive prospect pool now, because I think with those 3 moves we have made it possibly one of the best prospect pools for a group in the NHL. We are actually going to compare this to other teams. So we have 3 yellow 4.5 star players who are 22 or younger, which is fantastic. We've got a very young defensive core. We've only got 1 player who's playing who's over the age of 23, and he's 27, so he's going to be the veteran leader on the back end, and he's still only 27. We don't need to replace him yet. We can let him 2 years time, then trade him. That's fantastic. I'm not going to trade him. I could even trade him this year actually. In all honesty, I think I'm now in a position to trade Keith Yandel for a forward. keep Derek Morris, because Derek Morris isn't going to have any trade value. Just stick Derek Morris with Mata to help Mata's development. Keep Gormley and CC on the bottom 6. Trade Keith Yandel. We could get a decent forward for Keith Yandel. That is something I want opinions on. So let me know what you think about trading Keith Yandel for a forward, because I think if we just look at it, we can. I mean, ignoring Slemko, we've got Mato, who's 4.5 stars, 4 stars. He's going to be a top 4. CC could be a top 4 or a top 2. Ekman Larsson's basically a top 2 already. So is Hedman, and Gormley could be a top 2 as well. So, considering we're probably not going to. We're not going to win the Stanley Cup this year. We might get in the playoffs, but I'm not sure we'll make a deep playoff run. We need more forwards now than we need defensemen. Is it worth trading Keith Yandel? I think it is. I've got to be honest with you. I think Keith Yandel can go now. He's an expendable part. I mean, I love Keith Yandel in real life, but he's got a good trade value. Just Anaheim one, and what can we get? We could get. Anaheim's forward prospects isn't particularly deep, but yeah. For Keith Yandel, we could get Kuznetsov and Johansson probably. Vancouver want Yandel. We could get Bo Horvat. We could definitely get. Oh, excuse me, some offensive help. Perhaps not a superstar, but if we package Keith Yandel in, I mean, we could try it. Look at that. Those two are pretty similar in trade value. I would take a trade for TJ Oshie for Keith Yandel, no doubt. No doubt. He's got a better contract. Not entirely sure if that would go straight up, but that is something worth considering. Keith Yandel could possibly bring us a TJ Oshie. Almost said Josie. So, let me know what you think. Do we need Keith Yandel anymore? I mean, yes. If we were making a push to win the playoffs this year, I would keep Keith Yandel, but I think our forward group lets us down. Keeping Keith Yandel makes our defense one of the best in the NHL, I would say, especially in front of Mike Smith. Okay, no, I'm overstating it. It's not the best. Let's just compare our defensive prospects. So we'll just go to the right. So we'll go to Pittsburgh first. So we compare them to Pittsburgh. For better defensive prospect than Pittsburgh. Our other rosters are messed up. Never mind, I'll do that at the start of the season. But we will end this video here then with the question: do we in fact need to keep Keith Yandel, or can we try and trade him for a player that would help us out? And a quick idea of a player that would help us out would be someone like Kyle Torres, a proper playmaker to replace Mike Ribeiro, who's a lot younger and could potentially be our first line player of the future. I think Kyle Torres, that trade has a chance of going through if we add a few bits to it. So just something to think about there, or even Derek Steffer. And so Keith Yandel is probably, in my opinion, I think he's gone. I think we can get a lot back for him. We can get probably Jonathan Huberdeau for him, I think. So it's definitely worth considering. Could we get Jordan Eberle for him? It's worth considering. I will look into this in the next video, because we're kind of going a lot longer than I wanted to. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember, please do comment if you think Keith Yandel should stay or go. Either way, any feedback would be appreciated. I am extremely on the fence on this one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.